Hello there, bums, and welcome to another exciting episode of Bums Corner Coast to Coast.
Mwahaha.
I am Mike Eshelman, one of your hosts.
And I am the other host, Tom Arnholt.
And we are at the middle of October is when we're recording this, and by the time I get it out there, it'll be almost Halloween.
Ooh.
So you could consider this the Bums Corner Coast to Coast Halloween special! Hey, hey, hey!
That was the best.
Yes. And because we always land butter side up, it just so happens that the episode we're going to do for October is looking back, like our Nostalgia Sucks Rocks theme at a scary movie. So our Halloween episode is discussing the 1982 hit Poltergeist.
La, 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 la.
But I will warn you. So after we got off the air last episode, we were joking about like, hey man, like half hour in, we always hit our stride.
Yeah.
And jokingly, I said, well, you need to step it up and start drinking earlier. So
that is the first time anybody has ever told me that.
right?
52 years.
It's almost as if I should have said, what could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
So I wanted to list the chain of bad ideas I had today that led me to where I am right now in front of the microphone. So
awesome.
And it's like press your luck. Like I was holding my hand above the button and I was greedy. No whammies. So I went to Oktoberfest.
Nice.
At a brewery.
Perfect.
With Fisher.
Oh.
On an empty stomach.
Good night, everybody. So I expect you to be me, season one, March-ish.
Oh God, that was a nightmare. I thought you died at one point when I couldn't see you on the camera. Like,
I may have.
Like, if I put in an area code with 911, does it get to his ambulances?
Do like the +1 951 911. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Let's not find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there just happens to be. Well, there's a lot of breweries around here, but one of them around me was having their Oktoberfest today. And a couple of days ago, Jenny Fisher reached out, like the little Facebook invite. I'm like, that could be, I've got free time this afternoon. I'm not doing anything. What could go wrong?
You didn't eat there?
I was going to.
Do they have like the half a chicken?
No, it's
a liter of beer
so
thing?
they have it's for the people living in Columbus. It was at Nocterra. So Ray Ray's barbecue is right there on the weekends, like the food truck. Which is fantastic barbecue. But they also had a Schmidt's food truck there tonight for...
No kidding. No Schmidt.
Oktoberfest.
Wow.
No Schmidt.
Dig it.
So, I only had a couple beers there. But they were like brewery strength beers. And so by the time I got home and had my hey, I'm home beer and started thinking about dinner, they were all like kicking in on top of each other.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, this is a terrible idea. I'm like, maybe I should nap. And then the tiny producer devil appeared on my shoulder. Like, are you crazy? Ride this shit out.
You'll sleep through it.
Yeah, right. You focus that energy and do the best damn show you can do.
Wow.
So here we are. So let's go back to 1982.
1982.
And we talked about this a little bit last week. You did not see this in the theater. Is that correct?
I honestly can't remember. I want to say that I did, but I really can't recall seeing it in a theater.
Okay.
Even when I was watching it again, I was waiting for those recall moments.
Right.
I wasn't getting it.
Okay.
So I think, I saw it, at home on home video, probably,
Right.
83, 84.
Gotcha. Okay. So going back to that early teen Tom, um, do you remember? Do you have any recollections of this movie from that era?
I remember the trailer,
Yeah.
um, and it was like, oh shit. I mean, like the trailer was scary, and I
Right.
remember because it was done. There were, I think, a few different trailers. The one I remembered, and it was only because on the HBO Max they've got the trailer there. You can see it, and they did kind of like, remember when Blair Witch Project first came out,
Fuck yes, I do.
and leading up to it, the fucking geniuses did like a half-hour special
Oh yeah, the marketing
on,
was top
yeah,
notch.
and it was brilliant. And the trailer for Poltergeist was very much like that, where they had these experts that would sit in front of the camera, like, oh yeah, well, a poltergeist is this. They had a German-sounding man that was saying that the poltergeist is going to be very scary. It's an angry spirit. He's very unhappy. Uh, so they, I remember seeing those after seeing it on HBO Max. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Right.
So yeah, I recall, leading up to the release of the film, but I never actually. I don't think I saw it in theater.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, and again, like we talked about last show, this was my first rated R movie in the theater.
Yeah.
I don't remember who I went with. I'm sure it was kids in my class, obviously, but it was at the I do remember it was at the Continent because we had because it was a drop off pickup thing because I was so
Yeah.
young. Like I think I had to meet or I had to meet my friends at the fountain out in front of the movie theater.
Yep. That fountain is famous to us Gen
It
Xers.
was. Oh God, yeah. I mean, that's where you found people. It was
That was
like
that was our North Star.
it was before Bum's Corner was a thing. That's where you met everybody.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, we're going to the Continent. All right, I'll meet you at the fountain at 1.
See you doing. Remember when we were in Ohio State? We'd meet at the statue of William Oxley Thompson.
Yep,
At 10,
Bill.
At 10.
Bill at 10. Yes.
10.
To play euchre in the Rathskeller.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. The mystery of how we dropped out or were invited to leave.
I think you use the word mystery quite wrongly.
We were literally playing cards and drinking coffee and chain smoking when we should have been in class.
Yeah. Fuck, I got a good hand. We're good.
Yeah. I'm not going to anthropology. I'm winning.
Right? Yeah. I'll kill the final.
So yes, I have strong memories of seeing this movie, and it scared the shit out of me when I saw it. I do remember that distinctly.
I remember seeing it and it having the same effect.
Yes.
In the comfort of someone's own home. Yeah. Totally
honestly,
remember being gobsmacked by this film.
Right. Rewatching it, I think it would almost be scarier at home because of all the flashing light scenes in a dark living room. That shit would have been bouncing off of everything.
Right. Right.
Like when I watched it this time, it was in a dark living room. And that very first scene where Carol Ann's talking to the TV people.
Yeah.
And the strobe effect is so strong. I mean, literally, I'm in my own living room like, fuck, this is kind of spooky.
Right? Yeah. I mean, amazing what Spielberg can do with a bare bulb and a ceiling fan.
We will get to the effects later. So, yes.
He did well.
So, I mean, looking back and watching it again as, a 50-something-year-old, the things that I found scary back then were not scary now.
Yeah.
But I was watching it as a different character this time. That when I watched it as a kid, I saw it through the son's eyes. The scary ass clown, the scary ass tree, that you're scared because your
Yeah.
sister's missing, but this time I sort of watched it through Jo Beth Williams' eyes, that
Yeah.
your kids are hurt, your kids are scared, your kids are in
Yeah.
danger, so it was a little bit different experience for me.
Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on. I had the same thing.
Yeah.
It's weird, 40 years on, and yeah, watching it when it first came out, you're one of the kids.
Yes.
Because you're closer in age, you relate to that.
Right.
You've looked out the window and seen the scary shit that you didn't understand.
Right.
Checking under the bed.
Oh, yes. Oh, God, yes.
And yeah, it's actually a little scarier in a different way. 40 years on, watching it through,
absolutely,
relating more to Jo Beth Williams and Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah, and I picked Jo Beth Williams because Craig, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but the dude cannot act his way of a wet bag. He has a very narrow lane, and he stays in it always. He was Coach in this movie.
Before he was Coach, I think.
Yeah. Yes, but I was kind of glad rewatching it that Jo Beth Williams actually got the lead credit too.
She got the lead credit, and and deservedly so, because she had the bulk. She carried the fucking movie, really.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
She had the most dramatic scenes. She was the most, obviously engaged. Yeah, she was there. She was in the moment. She worked it.
Right.
And kudos to the kids.
Oh God, yeah.
They did great. The little boy was a little annoying at some points, but you kind of forget what it was like to be, 9 or 8 or however old he was.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's the thing too. Like when he was in his bed watching that tree smack against the window.
Yeah.
His reactions almost felt natural. Like, oh God, yeah, that would have scared the shit out of 8 or 9-year-old me.
And again, I think is, not only you got to credit those young actors, but I think Spielberg,
right,
at his peak was so good with kids.
Mm-hmm.
A few years later, E.T. came out.
Right.
And that was all kid focused, and so yeah, he really had a talent for evoking what needed to be happening from
and in fact the one character, the teenage daughter Dana, that was outside his wheelhouse, I mean, they just fucking got rid of her. Like, oh
yeah, I was like,
go stay at a friend's house.
Yeah. I got nothing for you. Go, just leave.
Right. It's like the older brother in Stand By Me. Yeah.
Scream, and then we won't even show you getting in the car. We're just going to drive away.
Right. Exactly.
It's like,
But, and the girl that played Carol Ann, I mean, fucking, she was so creepy when she had to be, and adorable when she was supposed to be.
Yeah.
The kid had chops.
I don't know how she did it, or how Spielberg was able to elicit that performance from her, but it was flawless. I mean, so creepy. And then you flick the switch and she's lovable.
Right, absolutely.
That vulnerability, the terror. I mean, she was, really
so good, so
amazing
good.
Performance.
Yep, absolutely. And I was impressed last episode that you knew Zelda Rubinstein's name. It didn't click until I was watching the movie. So we ran into some technical difficulties, and as I found out last episode, my editing skills are not strong enough to go through it. So we were talking about the character of Tangina, played by Zelda Rubinstein, that somehow Tom knew her name a month ago.
And I don't know why. For some reason, it's it's stuck in my head, and I think I have to blame 16 Candles
Okay.
for having her, because I think it was one of those things where it's like, oh, that's that creepy midget from fucking Poltergeist,
Right?
and watching the credits, like, oh, it's Zelda Rubinstein, okay, and for some reason that stuck. Apologies
Okay.
if anybody's offended by the word midget.
Fantastic. I will tell you the one character that bugged the shit out of me, and again, watching this as a grown up, I caught it. But like there were the two assistants to the doctor, right? There was the white guy and the black guy that were helping her record. I
Right?
I want to say,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Marty. Marty was the
I
white
know where
guy
you're
with
going.
glasses. Okay, so let me paint the scene for you. Middle of the night, this guy's just watching cameras in case anything happens, right? Gets a little
Because that's
hungry.
his job.
Yeah, absolutely. He gets a little hungry and
Yeah.
thought, well, I'll go have a snack, which fine. Okay. So he goes into
Which
the
in what
kitchen.
in what in what world is it okay to rummage through your client's kitchen for
Right?
food?
No, I thought maybe,
Okay,
okay, maybe they had a bowl
that's
of
something.
like, single serving chip bags or something, that he could snack on. But no, this motherfucker
No,
opens the fridge and pulls out like a $60 steak,
yeah.
which again, there's no
And then
wrapping. It
just
wasn't on a plate. It was just
no.
there.
Yeah,
And,
and he
and,
throws
and
it on the counter
yeah, it throws it on the fucking counter.
like, yeah, that'll do, pig.
And then he pulls out like a pan, which is 2 inches shorter than the steak. That he's just gonna fry this thing on. And again, the fucking that was like a 4-inch thick steak that this guy's gonna pan sear. Come
Yeah,
on,
fine.
right?
Yeah, I'll finish it off in the oven. I don't care if the handle melts. It's not my house.
Yeah. So okay. So again, terrible guest, but the fucker is such an ass that he pulls out a chicken wing to eat while he's
Yeah.
cooking the free steak.
Exactly.
Oh my god! What a terrible human!
Like, I understand they're volunteers, for the
Right.
most part, but like, you've been brought in to essentially save the life of a human being, a
Right.
child. I'm just gonna rummage around.
Right.
Is there no protocol? I understand you're college students, but is there no protocol?
Right. Like, oh yes, this family of 5 doesn't need this giant Flintstone-sized steak. I think I'll eat it at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Pan seared.
Right. They're terrorized. Who needs protein?
Yeah. So, and again, watching it as a kid, what happens to when he's ripping his own face apart after that? I'm like, oh, this is terrible. But watching it now, I'm like, fuck yes, you deserve all of this shit happening to you, pal.
Right?
You're the real
Exactly.
monster.
I mean, and it's funny, that whole scene with the face being ripped off. It's like, I immediately flash forward a couple of years to Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh yes, absolutely. That was definitely the laying the groundwork for the old melting face trick.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, all right, yeah. They're like, yeah, we can do that better. I'm like, yeah, you know what?
you think?
You sure can.
Right? Yes, it doesn't look like somebody is ripping apart a like face shaped cake this time.
Right? This is like the smash cake you give a 1-year-old.
Oh, okay. So those special effects hadn't aged well. When Tangina just gets there and they go up to the kids' room and all this shit's spinning around. Those are pretty terrible
Oh
special
God.
effects too. Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah.
The and again, it scared
Yeah.
the shit out of me when I was 12. But like the skeleton horse type animal, that was pretty awful
That
too.
yeah. The texture, like the record that's spinning and being played by the protractor.
Jesus Christ, so terrible.
But yeah, 82. That was state of the
Right?
art. You
Fuck
know,
yeah,
it's like
man.
one of those things that, watching it now, I'm like, dude, come on.
Right.
You know, you gotta be. You know, there's a degree of forgiveness that we have to give these
Absolutely.
things. It's just
Yes.
like watching Clash of the Titans.
Oh yeah.
At the time, this was insanely groundbreaking to watch skeletons with swords fight things. It was
Oh
all stock
yeah.
animation. It was
Yeah.
like even like Rudolph the Red-Nosed fucking reindeer. Just like,
Right.
holy God. So, you know, I'm cool with cutting slack on some of the effects. You know,
It's just how they have aged terribly, you know. Like, okay, so Clash of the Titans, that old like the Harryhausen stop motion photography stuff, that has a certain appeal to it even now. You know, it's just you can look at it and think,
sure,
God damn, a lot of work went into that. You know, but you
an
look back at
absurd amount of
this,
work.
right? But you
Yeah.
look at that spinning record and protractor and think, wow, you know, how much did they pay
Oh, they
Industrial
did.
Light and Magic on the back end to pull this magic off?
Right. Oh, you know what's funny is since you mentioned Industrial Light and Magic. Okay, again, so a Spielberg picture
Right.
with MGM.
Yep.
Industrial Light and Magic did the effects.
Sure.
Kathleen Kennedy, executive producer.
Get the fuck out. No way.
Yep.
Man.
That's why
She's
she's
had her
credits.
tendrils in this beast that long?
Yes. That's the
Wow.
DNA. That's the seed. And now she's in
Wow.
charge of Star Wars.
It's amazing. Not to sidetrack.
Well, that was
But so dun dun
sidetrack further.
dun. So since it's October, I've been watching a lot of scary movies, and I rewatched the entire Scream series. And in retrospect, it's kind of hard to watch the Harvey Weinstein vehicles anymore. You know, it's tainted. It's like if you could track down a copy of the Fat Albert Halloween special. You know, like the magic, the luster is gone from it almost entirely because of everything that happened in the real world. But soapbox put away.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to watch it in a vacuum, you know, to appreciate it.
You
And
really
I
do.
still love those movies.
That's the thing. Yeah. And that was one of the things I thought about when the whole Harvey Weinstein thing started was how is this going to affect everything he touched? You know,
right.
I mean, art is art. You know, we liked things. You know, we enjoyed films for what they were.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know if it's warranted to. You know, it's understandable,
right?
But yeah, that's not a filter you need to have. To
exactly,
enjoy.
and I'm not saying you know by no means do we go. You know, I don't know. I guess in the case of Cosby, like basically just scrubbing all of his work off the face of the earth. That's one thing, but he was also on on camera. The Weinstein stuff, you cannot take essentially 50 years of cinema and just scrub it from the planet because of
Right.
his involvement, But again,
Exactly.
art doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's part of the real world. So yes, you have to look at it. You can pull away and look at it through the lens of then, but you can also look at it
Mm-hmm.
as now too. But I
Right. And I
digress
think,
again.
well, so specifically the case with Weinstein is,
Hmm.
do you discredit all the good?
Yes, absolutely.
Do
And
do
the hundreds and
we
hundreds
do
and
we
thousands of people that worked on that too.
and do we discredit the strength of the women
Right.
that were forced to kind of quote unquote pay the price to
Right.
reach you know to be on screen, and
Right. No,
those women
absolutely.
that have gone through that and achieved the stardom and have achieved what they the recognition for their talent and
Right.
ability and skill. We can't taint. Again, I would say we would hold these women in a higher regard that they've persevered through this
Oh,
and
for
have
sure.
maintained and excelled in the industry
I
despite
agree.
this fucking waste of a fucking human being.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I agree. But it was just, I don't know. It was different watching them now as opposed to
Yeah,
years past. I'll go back and watch them every 5, 6, 7 years. And I don't know. It was different this time.
it
But
is. And
anyways,
I get it. It's you don't want
yeah.
to you don't want to like, oh, I like that film because, well, his name's associated with it.
Right.
But yet but I think you have to certainly remove that from the idea from the art that was displayed and produced, and
Right.
the performances that were given, and the end product that came of it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And it's kind of one of those it's one of those it was made with dirty money
All right.
kind of things. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like Blood Diamond kind of shit. But
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. You're
I
exactly
don't know.
right.
I don't want to I don't want to. I don't want to discredit the honest, hardworking, talented people that produce something amazing
Oh, for sure.
be- because the guy in charge was a fucking douchebag.
Yes, absolutely. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And again, it's that whole argument to separate the art from the artist kind of thing too. Not necessarily that he was the artist, but does him as a
We
person,
separate
does
the
it
art from the patron.
change? Yes. Okay, that's perfect. Absolutely. So can
You
you?
know,
Absolutely. And like you said, I think it should exist without him. I wish they could go back and just scrub his name from everything. That'd be kind of a nice
sure,
fix, right?
that
But
that would be great.
and
But
jokingly, I mean, I joke that Craig T. Nelson's a terrible actor. Well, no, I don't joke. He is, but I can,
he's not
I
great.
can,
He's
I
not
can
great.
watch, I can watch this and disassociate Craig T. Nelson, the actor, who's kind of exposed himself as sort of a shitty person in real life, and just appreciate the movie for what it is. I'm like, all right, this guy is so wooden, but I'll live through it. I was kind of glad that he went to work and left Jo Beth Williams to deal with him. Like, oh, thank God, maybe something will get done now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I spoke incorrectly. I remembered this wrong. Um, when I was a kid, I thought it was built on an Indian burial mound, but it turns his boss actually said at least it wasn't an Indian burial mound. Did you?
Right.
Yes, and again,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't catch that. Like again, I'm watching it as an adult. Like, why would 12-year-old me think that Indians would be buried in like wooden caskets with brass handles? But
Exactly.
whatever,
Right. Yeah.
I was.
Um, I don't think I don't think I hung on to the Indian burial ground thing, but
Mm.
I did, knew that. Okay, yeah, all right. So this is when they had that scene up on the hill.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, we'll relocate it. I'm like, oh yeah, you.
Right?
So yeah, but yeah, the whole Indian burial ground.
Yes.
I think it's one of those things that we all kind of thought we heard,
Right.
but didn't really. That sort of Mandela effect.
Exactly. Yeah. And so when he said that, I'm like, what? I'm like, I thought it was, but sure enough, again, like when all the caskets start popping up, I'm like, okay, yes.
Right? And they're all
It's
people
white
from
on
the
white crime.
1920s.
Yeah. I'm
It's
okay with white on white crime.
Yeah,
That's
you
fine.
go, Cracker.
That's right. Haunt the shit out of this place.
Right? Motherfucking suburban bitches.
Right.
Ain't done shit.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, you want a pool? Guess what? You got some
Right.
visitors that want to swim in your
Okay.
pool. Joe Beth Williams.
So, speaking of Joe Beth Williams, there was one scene that, like, the second it started, like, 12-year-old lizard brain meme, like, oh, I remember this. And it was when she was wearing the football jersey, brushing her hair. Then all of a sudden, like, the ghost flips her around the room. Like, all, like, 12-year-old me is like, dude, I remember this. Yes. Like, I remember this. Like, yes, 12-year-old me, I know you do. Quit. Like, put all that away. But the second that scene started, I'm like, oh, Christ. Yeah.
Terrifying. But you know what was funny? In addition to the Lionel Richie dancing on the ceiling scene, earlier in the film, like she's smoking pot, like in the bed,
oh yeah,
like in their bedroom, and it's like, yeah, fucking right on. Like I completely have no recollection of that.
Right, like went through zero effort to hide it from the kid too. Kind of like cupping it or something. Like, hey, what do you
need? Right, like Bobby comes in and he's like, she's like, yeah, what?
Why aren't you in bed?
Bedtime, Robbie. What are you doing?
Oh God, yeah, that was awesome. I forgot about that too.
How funny! Like I was like,
yes.
Why? How is this still like a demonized thing?
Oh, absolutely, and it was so nonchalant in the movie too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was like a lazy writer's way to show that they're progressive and hip by having her like smoke weed in the bedroom or something and not, straight laced, or I don't know. It was a weird scene, but I did not remember that, as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't either.
But it is what it is.
The biggest problem I had with the movie is like the last 20 minutes. Like the second ending.
Mm-hmm.
It was all good up until Zola says, "This house is clean." The next scene it's the next day. Like the sun is
right.
I don't know what time it was that they pulled Carol Ann and Joe Beth Williams out of the other world.
Mm-hmm.
But like the next day, it's bright and early, and Carol Ann's in the front yard playing with her doll, and fucking Coach is like busting balls to load the fucking moving truck
right
that is in the front of their house. And he's all about like, we're leaving tonight. This is it. We're done. We're out. We are out of here. Gone. pack the shit, we're gone. And he's like throwing boxes, and like the moving guy is like, motherfucker, like overwhelmed.
Right?
Coach is just on him. Move it, come on. And all of a sudden, like he's like, I gotta go to the office, tie up some loose ends. The boss won't take fuck no for an answer. And so he goes to work.
Right.
Apparently his boss picks him up because later his car is in the driveway. But
yeah.
Anyways. So, all right. Anyways. So Coach goes off to work and the house is supposed to be like, we're leaving tonight. Yet Jo Beth Williams is going to take a luxurious bath in a bathroom that has not been prepared for a move. Like, all this shit is still there,
right?
You know, attached to a, the ensuite that is attached that has kind of been packed up. The kid's death room is still like complete. To include Demon Clown. Like,
that was the fucked up part. Why
is none of this shit in boxes? We are leaving tonight. He even tells the daughter, you're going to Kevin's for dinner? Come back because we're leaving tonight. We're staying at the Holiday Inn. And
you know, any mover worth his shit would have just left. Yeah.
Yeah. They're all ready for bed. Hey, tuck yourselves in, yet answer the phone.
Right.
I'm taking a bath. The last 20 minutes of that movie, is like a different movie.
Right. I think they would have been better served just sort of wrapping it up and having that happy ending without, you know, whack-a-mole with all the skeletons throughout the neighborhood. But again, you know, I don't know.
Incorporate that in the whole Zelda, this house is clean.
Right.
The movie should have ended with Zelda saying, this house is clean.
Right.
And then they drive off.
That would have been fantastic.
La, 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 la. Yeah, the last then like he. All right, so they finally get out of the house after the big bad comes back, and they all run out of the house finally and jump into the car. And Coach is sitting there like looking for his keys, like standing outside the car. Looking for his keys in his back pocket. For what seems like 20 minutes.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
While they're all yelling, Dad, 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 Dad.
Yes.
Like,
it was a terrible scene.
All y'all motherfuckers are in the car. Can you not reach over and pull the thing up? This is the 80s. Like, you could do that. You could reach over and just unlock it. But no, he's got to sit there and fumble with his fucking jeans looking for keys. And then he's got to find the right key to get the goddamn key. Oh, God damn it. Because we gotta play every goddamn cliche. Well, fuck! Oh my God, that's the wrong key. That's my goddamn. That's the office key. And then he finally gets in. And then they're still yelling at him. Go, Dad! Go, Dad! Go, Dad! Go, Dad!
Oh God, it was awful.
Jesus Christ! This is like birth control. And finally they roll off. They're getting ready to scream out of the neighborhood, but then the daughter shows up, the oldest one that we forgot about because. And she's like, what the fuck's happening? And she has to stand there and show her for like a half an hour of screaming.
Get in the car!
Get in the car! But they never show her getting in the car. They just drive away.
Right. I think it was like, fuck it, she'll be in the sequel. She'll be okay.
And then they're at the hotel.
Yes.
They reach the Holiday Inn.
Which,
And
by the
again,
way,
the sign?
yes, I was going to comment on the Hollywood Inn sign. That was a fucking beautiful thing.
It really was. Remember that?
Yes. Like, when you were on family vacations and miles away, you saw that giant sign, you knew that you were going to be in bed soon.
Yeah.
So the second I saw that, I'm like, oh man, I miss those things. Now it's just like that boring green logo they have. But back then, that was amazing. I loved seeing that in that movie. So good.
Like Jerry's Drive-In.
Which is a parking lot now, by the way.
Fuck everybody who made that happen.
So TJ's closed down and they leveled the building. So now it's just that giant sign and a parking lot.
They kept the sign.
Oh yeah, sign's there. Any reference to TJ's is gone from it. So it's pointing to a strip of concrete. Which I think like the municipality should just collect some money, make a park out of it, and stop. Just keep the sign there and just put like park in the middle of it, and be done. Let's quit this bullshit with having other restaurants in there that aren't Jerry's.
Like a park for people? With grass and shit?
Yeah, a couple benches, little tire swing. Which, speaking of which, I had GD Ritzy's on Saturday.
Is that back?
And it's back.
I heard it was back.
Yes, but the first couple times I went, it was so crowded that I couldn't get in there. But now it's dead. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I mean, when I was a kid, like going there as a teenager, I could never really afford it. Like you split a fry with somebody, but I was able to get like a double cheeseburger and a fry and a milkshake, and oh my god, it tasted good. It was amazing.
Yeah,
but rant over.
So, is it in the same place?
No, it's further north at like Garden and High. But it same logo, same color scheme. It looks like something the 50s puked up. But it was tasty. It was tasty.
When Ritzy's, that was good shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it was nice. The old shoestring fries and a milkshake so thick that sucking through the straw gave you a headache. Yep. So it's good times. Good times. Yes. Oh, it was so tasty. But anyways, Poltergeist. I don't know.
Honestly, for me,
is this?
It was. Yeah. I really enjoyed it up until the last 20 minutes. Up until the second ending. The second ending, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like it just made me angry. Like all the way fine. I was totally fine. Like, yeah, all right, yeah, I get it. Yeah, you can't do the whole like twinkly. Like, yeah, we're gonna throw a baseball and it's gonna come out the other side. I get it.
Right.
There was craziness. The effects wasn't there. I recall distinctly as a youth being gobsmacked by the entire thing.
Oh yeah, right.
But yeah, as an adult, up until and again, Jesus. All right, so Greg D. Nelson shows up at the climax of the whole thing. Like, Joe Beth Williams, like finally, like dramatically saves her kid from being sucked back into the other world.
Right.
And they race down to the front door of the house, and she's standing there, and coffins are exploding from the ground. And they finally, she sees her husband, and she's like, "Help us!" And the door slams shut because Poltergeist.
Right.
And he says, in his head, the best course of action at this point is not save my family. I'm going to go yell at my boss. Who had to drop me off.
Right.
You didn't move the bodies.
Yeah, see, so wasn't he like a salesman or something?
Yeah, he was.
So
he was
why?
a
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I was wondering why he had to work on a Saturday.
I didn't mean to like. I
estate,
didn't mean my inflection. I didn't mean to inflect that. A realtor. He was a realtor.
Right.
Being a realtor is a very respected and necessary profession.
Absolutely. You people have come a long way. You're very articulate for a realtor.
For a realtor, you're almost believable.
Right?
I almost trust you.
Oh my God.
Almost got me thinking you're not going to fuck me.
Right. If more realtors were like you wouldn't have such a bad reputation.
You're a credit to your profession.
Credit to your profession. Oh, fuck. Oh, my God.
I just got done doing mid-year reviews for my guys, so yeah, they're all like fresh in my head. You're a standing ambassador.
Yes. So, I don't know. From my point, again, this movie scared the shit out of me when I was young. I can still see remnants of that in the film. I mean, except for the special effects, it does hold up. The story's still good, but man, it has not aged well. So I don't know.
No.
I probably will not be dipping my toe back in the Poltergeist pool anytime soon. No pun intended.
No. That's good shit right there.
You like that?
Joe Beth Williams, yeah. Only thing better than Joe Beth Williams in a fucking jersey is a muddy jersey.
Oh, you better stop right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, like. I'm not gonna push anybody down to go see this again.
No, absolutely not. And again, I'm kind of glad we revisited it, because it realized what a schmuck I was when I was 12.
You weren't a schmuck.
No, I mean, yeah,
for schmucks. This was groundbreaking bullshit back when we were.
Oh, it was. And again, it's fun to look back at it and think like, holy shit, like that. All the effects are pretty bad, but to look back and think, man, this shit freaked me the fuck out when I was little. And like you said, Spielberg has that way of looking at the world through a kid's eyes and think, all right, if I were 9, what would fuck me up? And yeah, that one shot where Robbie kind of looks under his bed, I can still feel like little me, like, I wanted to jump, like, I wanted it to be scary. So kudos to him.
Yeah.
It was good then. It's good now. It's aged.
The under the bed scene in particular, it was brilliant because, like you said, he checks the one side with a blanket is short. And he
Right.
checks the other side where the blanket touches the floor, and you're like, oh yeah, that's where he is.
Right.
And he pulls it up, and he breathes that sigh of relief,
Yep.
and then he gets up, and the clown's got him.
Oh, that clown. Jesus Christ.
Because, like, the one thing I'm thankful for is that apparently somehow Stephen King and Steven Spielberg have never been in the same room. Because both of them are masters at, yeah. Oh, your childhood?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Hey, I have a poker.
Right.
I think that would be an amazing team up, because if Steven Spielberg had directed it or managed the last two the reboots of it,
oh yeah,
forget it. Nothing's going to top Tim Curry, but
absolutely. I think there is something that he can take, that looking at the world through a kid's eyes. I mean, yeah, it is scary, but it's scarier when you watch it as a 9-year-old or 10-year-old. Just the terror that it's so scary. And even like the little cheesy scenes where the tree is tapping on the window. I mean, I remember that shit being little. Like, God, yeah, that shit was scary. And it was 10 times worse after seeing this movie, of course. But, that fear was already built into you, The fact that your closet can suck you into a terror dimension. Yeah, I can believe that easily, So I don't know. This was a fun endeavor.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't stand up. It pissed me off the last 20 minutes. Up until then. Yeah. It was enjoyable.
Yeah. Absolutely. So when we started this episode, we were talking about what we're going to look at next. And I think we've determined that we're going to do a Christmas movie around Christmas time that came out when we were younger. And it looks like Scrooged might be the one. So we may be bringing that to you in the next couple of months. But before we get there, we're going to spend some time tapping into the top 50 TV shows of all time, according to Rolling Stone.
Yes.
And
those fuckers don't know shit.
Oh, wait till you see the list. There's going to be so much ire. Like, I was going through, and all I did to prep is just type the list into our shared folder. I'm like, oh, Tom's going to hate this. Tom's going to hate this. Tom's going to hate this. It's fantastic. Right? So it'll be fun. So we have that to look forward to. And yeah. So again, reach out and let us know if there's something from the late 70s to late 80s that you think we should take a look at, and we will happily waste a few hours watching that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Send us your recommendations.
Absolutely. So, now that we've stumbled our way through there and you have beaten like a dead horse the fact that you hate the last 20 minutes of this movie, any final thoughts?
Well, I have. To be honest, all my thoughts are final because, who knows what's going to happen next. No, yeah. If you're hard up for a good Halloween watch, Poltergeist It's a good second choice.
There you go. Chick, highly recommend the new Hellraiser on Hulu, though.
Hey,
That
really?
was fun. Yeah. Oh, it was so good.
Oh.
Pinhead is now cast as a female. An actress plays Pinhead. And she was great. She was super fucking creepy. Oh, yeah. It's awesome. I had a lot of fun watching that. I watched.
Will her
Yes.
performance be legendary? Even in hell?
Oh, what script read-throughs we have in store for you. It was
Delicious.
good. Yes. What's that? Is that our exit music playing in the background? Is that what I hear?
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Happy Halloween. Being the credits came up, I'm like,